After 10 years together, my fiancé bought a house without me, then demanded I pay half the mortgage while owning nothing. I, 29F, have been with my fiancé, 30M, for 10 years. We met in our late teens and have been together ever since. In 2020, we had our first child. Around the same time, I lost my job due to the pandemic, and our lease was ending. My grandmother kindly offered for us to move in with her, and we accepted. She has a large house with a separate living area, so we basically had our own little apartment rent-free. It was a huge help at a time when everything felt uncertain. During that period, I started thinking about going back to school. I had always wanted to finish my degree, and this felt like a good time to do it. My fiancé was fully supportive of the idea. He offered to cover the cost of my tuition and expenses, while my grandma helped by watching our baby when I had classes. It was a team effort, and I'm so grateful for both of them. I enrolled part-time and took classes consistently, and now I'm finally set to graduate this semester. Over the past few years, my fiancé's career has taken off. He now earns about $90,000 a year. He was earning $70,000 when we first moved in. Thanks to living rent-free and his discipline, he's saved a good chunk of money. Throughout this time, we talked a lot about our future. We agreed to wait until I finished school to get married and buy a house. It made sense to focus on building our foundation first. Lately, we've been house hunting more seriously. We found a place we both love and started working with a mortgage broker. That's when everything changed. During a call with the broker, my fiancé casually mentioned that he would be the only one on the mortgage and the deed. I was so taken aback I didn't say anything at the time. After the meeting, I asked him what he meant. I said I thought we were buying the house together, as partners, and I was ready to contribute half the monthly mortgage payments. He told me, point blank, that he would still expect me to pay half, but I wouldn't have any ownership or rights to the house. When I asked why, he said it was because he's the one putting down the 40% for the down payment. He said it's only fair that the house be in his name in case we ever break up. I was shocked. I reminded him that this entire time we'd been talking about our house, not his house. He didn't deny it. He just said this was how he wanted to do it and that it was non-negotiable. So I told him, if that's how he wants to structure it, then I won't pay toward the mortgage. I said I'm not going to pay for something I have no legal claim to. That if he wants to own a house on his own, that's fine. But I'm not going to be treated like a tenant with no protection, especially after everything we've been through together. He absolutely blew up at me. He called me a selfish bitch and said I was ungrateful. He reminded me that he supported me financially for years, paid for my education, and covered all our expenses. I told him that wasn't fair. I stayed home to raise our child, which saved us thousands in daycare costs. If I had worked part-time instead, we would have had to pay someone else to watch our baby. That contribution matters too. He said he didn't care, that I agreed to pay half and now I'm backing out. Now things are incredibly tense between us. He's been distant and cold, and I can tell he thinks I'm betraying him. But from my perspective, I feel blindsided. I thought we were building a life together. I never imagined he'd structure something as major as a home purchase in a way that leaves me totally vulnerable, especially while still expecting me to contribute financially. I understand he's the one with the down payment, and I don't want to dismiss that. I respect that he worked hard and saved. But I thought this was a partnership. If we're going to be married, shouldn't we be building our lives in a way that protects both of us? I'm not saying I need 50% of the house handed to me. I'm open to other options, like a cohabitation agreement or a structure where my share grows as I contribute. But I'm not okay paying into something that gives me nothing back if things fall apart. So, Reddit? Ada for telling my fiancé I won't help pay the mortgage if I'm not on the deed? Update 1. I didn't expect this post to get much attention, but I'm incredibly grateful to all of you who took the time to read and comment. I spent the last 2 days reading your replies, and I've been doing a lot of thinking and a lot of crying, to be honest. After our fight, my fiancé barely spoke to me. He was cold, short, and dismissive. Last night, I told him I wanted to have a calm, mature conversation. I said that I wasn't trying to take anything from him, but I needed to understand why he would want me to pay into something I legally have no right to. I also asked him directly if he still saw this relationship as a partnership, or if things had shifted. His answer shocked me. He said, and I'm quoting here, "You haven't contributed financially in years. You're finally about to get a degree, and now you want half my house? That's not how the real world works." That hit me harder than I expected. It wasn't just the words, but the tone. Like I'd been freeloading. Like raising our child and managing our home had no value. Like everything I'd done was just a pause in his success story. I stayed calm. I asked him if he'd ever consider putting both our names on the deed in the future, maybe after I've started working and contributed more. He said maybe, but he wasn't making promises. Then he added, "You're lucky I'm even offering to let you live there. Most guys wouldn't." At that point, I just stood up and walked out. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I went to my grandma's room, told her what happened, and she hugged me like I was 10 years old again. She told me something I can't stop thinking about. "Honey, a real partner doesn't keep score. He builds a home with you, not in spite of you." I don't know what's going to happen next. I do know that I'm not paying a dime toward a mortgage for a house that I don't have any rights to. I also know I need to start seriously thinking about whether this is the kind of man I want to marry. Thanks for listening. I'll update again if anything major changes. Update 2. After reading through your comments and thinking everything through, I realized that my relationship hasn't been as equal as I thought it was. I think I was so focused on getting through the tough years, having the baby, going to school, managing money, that I didn't stop to ask if we were still actually growing together. I had another serious conversation with my fiancé a couple of nights ago. I calmly told him that I couldn't move forward with the house purchase the way he had planned. I said if he wanted to buy a house in his name only, that was his choice, but I wouldn't be paying into it. I told him I was happy to contribute to a home we both legally owned, even if my share had to be smaller at first. But I needed to know I was building something with him, not just helping him build a life that excluded me. His response? He said, "You're acting entitled. You didn't bring anything to the table except a baby." I was stunned. I asked him to repeat it, and he did, without hesitation. So, I told him I was done. I didn't scream, I didn't cry. I just said, "If that's how you see me after 10 years, then I think we've reached the end of the road." He didn't try to stop me. He said, "You'll come crawling back when you realize you have nothing." That was 3 nights ago. I've officially moved into the main part of my grandma's house with our child. She's been amazing. I contacted a lawyer friend who specializes in family law just to understand my rights when it comes to our child, especially if custody becomes an issue. Right now, we're still taking turns caring for our child, but I told him we need to formalize things soon. I feel heartbroken, but strangely free. For the first time in a while, I'm thinking about what I want. I'm finishing school this month. I already have an internship lined up that could turn into a full-time job. I'm working on rebuilding my financial independence, and I'm going to prioritize stability for myself and my child. I thought we were building a life together. Turns out, I was just building him up while losing myself in the process. I want to say thank you to everyone who helped me see things clearly. Your words gave me strength. I'll be okay. Update 3. I graduated 2 weeks ago. I wore a cap and gown, walked across the stage with tears in my eyes, and my grandma stood up and cheered louder than anyone. My little one was there too, clapping with her tiny hands. It was one of the proudest moments of my life. I also officially accepted a full-time job offer from the company I interned at. It's a remote position with decent pay and great growth potential. I'm slowly getting back on my feet financially, and I've opened a savings account just for myself. I'm even researching renters programs and small business grants, something I never had the confidence to consider before. As for my ex, he did buy the house, alone, and he sent me a smug text with a photo of the keys, like it was a victory. Honestly, I hope he enjoys it. It's a lonely thing to buy a house with no one waiting to make it a home. We've started working through legal custody agreements now. It's not fun, but I'm keeping things civil for the sake of our child. I've already lined up a great co-parenting counselor to help us stay on track. I've learned a lot through this. Most importantly, I've learned that you should never have to beg for partnership. If someone only values you when you're giving something tangible, they were never building with you. They were just building for themselves. So, thank you. Reddit, you helped me make one of the hardest but most empowering decisions of my life. I'm not looking back.